It's a Tuesday evening in small-town America. The sun's dipping low, painting the sky in bruised purples and oranges. Kids are finishing homework. Dads are firing up the grill for one last summer cookout before the chill sets in. Life in Zanesville, Ohio. Population 25,000. The kind of place where everyone knows your business and the biggest excitement is a high school football game on Friday night. It's ordinary, predictable, safe. But out on a 73-acre patch of scrubby farmland just west of town, something's unraveling. A man named Terry Thompson, 62 years old, Vietnam vet, motorcycle enthusiast, and self-proclaimed animal lover, is pacing the grounds of his private menagerie. He had debts piling up like unpaid bills on the kitchen table, nearly $70,000 owed to the IRS alone. His marriage is in tatters. His wife Marion's talking divorce. Just 3 weeks earlier, he walked out of federal prison after serving a year for illegal firearms possession. Sawed-off shotguns, unregistered machine guns, the kind of arsenal that makes you wonder what he was planning for. Terry stops at a rusted gate. Behind it, eyes glow in the fading light. Stripes of orange and black, manes like crowns of thorns, hulking shadows that could swallow a man whole. Lions, tigers, bears, wolves, monkeys chattering like deranged spectators. 56 exotic animals in all, crammed into makeshift cages cobbled from chicken wire and railroad ties. Animals he'd collected over decades, trading guns and favors like some backwoods Indiana Jones chasing a fever dream. He doesn't say a word. No manifesto, no final rant. Just a pair of bolt cutters. Snip, snip. Gates swing open, cages splinter. And then, with the animals milling about in confusion, some rubbing against his legs like oversized house cats, others growling low in their throats, Terry raises a pistol to his temple and pulls the trigger. The shot echoes across the fields, but it's not the last one you'll hear that night. In this episode, we're heading to Zanesville, Ohio, for a tale that reads like the plot of a B-horror flick, but hits way too close to home. It's the story of the Zanesville Animal Massacre. 50 exotic beasts set free, 49 gunned down in a hail of bullets, and one man's descent into a private apocalypse that exposed America's dirty little secret, the underground world of exotic pet ownership. But before we dive in, some of the details in this story are disturbing and may not be suitable for all audiences, so viewer discretion is strongly advised. As always, remember to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on post notifications to stay up to date with the channel. All right, let's dive into the video. To understand how Zanesville became ground zero for one of the most bizarre tragedies in modern American history, we have to go back. Way back. Not to the dinosaurs, but close enough. To the dusty auction barns and roadside menageries that dotted the Midwest in the mid-20th century. Terry Thompson wasn't born a mad hoarder. He was a kid from Zanesville, the kind who dreamed big in a town that felt small. Born in 1949, Terry grew up in the shadow of the Muskingum River, where the water runs brown and the economy's been circling the drain since the steel mills shuttered in the 70s. Zanesville's claim to fame? The Y Bridge, a three-way span that looks like it was designed by a drunk engineer, and a pottery industry that's more museum piece than paycheck. Unemployment hovers around 10%. Dreams go to die here, or, in Terry's case, to mutate into something feral. As a teen, Terry enlisted in the Army. Vietnam called and he answered. Stationed in the jungles, dodging Agent Orange and Charlie's ambushes, Terry learned two things: how to handle a gun like an extension of his arm, and a bone-deep appreciation for the raw power of nature untamed. He came home in '72, decorated but damaged. PTSD wasn't a buzzword yet, but it clung to him like humidity. Back in Zanesville, Terry hustled. Opened a motorcycle shop called LTZ Originals, slinging choppers and custom bikes to weekend warriors. He married Marion Standen in 1975, a local girl with a sharp tongue and a shared wanderlust. They had a son, Tony, and for a spell life hummed along. But Terry had an itch, the kind that starts as a whisper and ends in a roar. Animals. Big ones. Wild ones. It began innocently enough. A pet raccoon here, a wolf hybrid there. By the 80s, Terry was breeding cheetahs and trading leopards at exotic animal swaps. Think flea markets, but with fangs. Ohio was paradise for guys like him. No state laws on exotic pets, no permits needed. You could buy a lion cub for $1,500 at an auction in Millersburg, truck it home in a horse trailer, and your only worry was the neighbors complaining about the smell. Ohio wasn't alone. 8 states had 0 regulations on dangerous wild animals in 2011. But the Buckeye State? It was the Wild West, home to more captive tigers than all of India combined. Estimates pegged it at 7,000 private big cats nationwide, twice the wild population. Why? Cheap land, lax enforcement, and a culture that romanticized the frontier. Want a giraffe in your garage? As long as it didn't eat the hydrangeas, who cared? Terry and Marion dove in head first. They founded the Muskingum County Animal Farm in the late 80s, a non-profit preserve, they called it. But it was more of a petting zoo from hell than a personal zoo. Friends described Terry as charismatic, a storyteller with a laugh like gravel. He'd bottle feed tiger cubs while regaling guests with tales of smuggling leopards across state lines. Marion handled the books, or tried to. They charged admission, $25 a head for exotic encounters. But the money vanished into feed bills and vet tabs. Horses for the herbivores, roadkill deer for the carnivores. Neighbors whispered about the screams at night, the stench that carried on the wind. By the 2000s, the farm was a powder keg. Terry's gun obsession escalated. Federal raids in 2005 and 2010 netted illegal weapons galore. Animal neglect charges piled up, starved cows, a buffalo carcass rotting in the sun. In 2008, deputies seized 11 animals after complaints of abuse. Terry got them back, of course. Ohio law was a joke. A temporary ban on exotic ownership? Governor Ted Strickland tried in 2010, but his successor, John Kasich, let it lapse. Market forces will sort it out, the administration shrugged. Meanwhile, Terry's world imploded. Tony, their son, battled mental illness, schizophrenia, some said, and died by suicide in 2001. Marion filed for divorce in 2010, citing Terry's erratic behavior. Prison in 2011 for the guns. When he got out on September 30th, the farm was a ruin. Cages sagging, animals emaciated, debt crushing. Friends say he talked in riddles those last weeks. "I've got a plan," he'd mutter to caretakers. Suspicions of Marion's infidelity gnawed at him. PTSD episodes flared. Flashbacks to Nam, where the jungle ate men alive. Before we continue on, if you are enjoying the video so far, please remember to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And if you don't like it, let me know down in the comments. Your support truly means everything. All right, back to the video. On October 18, 2011, the plan crystallized. Around 5 p.m., a neighbor named Sam Kopchak, 64-year-old retired teacher, steps into his paddock to check on his new horse, Red. 30 horses on the adjacent Thompson property, usually placid, suddenly bolt in blind panic, stomping dirt into dust devils. Kopchak squints, shadows moving wrong. A low growl rumbles from the tree line.
I saw the horses that were over there. There's probably about 60 horses I estimate that they had. They were going around a circle. And I said, well, they're not supposed to do that. Something's going on, you know.
Then Sam saw something even more out of the ordinary.
I actually got Red up there by the corner. We walked down through here, and I just felt like something was looking at me, and I kind of turned to the left, and big male African lion, he came down. This is about the spot he was sitting.
Across the road, calls flood in. A Bengal tiger slinking through a soybean field. Lions padding toward I-70. The interstate artery snaking through Zanesville. A grizzly bear nosing at a mailbox.
One calls.
911.
Yeah, there's a lion on Mount Perry Road in Grayshot.
I'm pretty sure, and I just saw a wolf.
I think I just seen one. Looks like a jaguar or a wolf or something.
By 5:30 p.m., Muskingum County Sheriff's Office was in crisis mode. Sheriff Matt Lutz, a no-nonsense cop with a mustache like a broom bristle, rolls up to the farm in his cruiser. What he finds is biblical. Terry's body sprawled near the entrance, pistol in hand, brains splattered on the gravel. Bullet hole clean, self-inflicted no doubt. But around him, carnage waiting to happen. Cages sheared open with bolt cutters, gates flung wide. 50 animals loose on 73 acres, some venturing into woods, others hugging the perimeter fence like inmates testing the bars. A tiger pauses to sniff Terry's corpse, then ambles off. Lutz's first call, Columbus Zoo. Jack Hanna, yes, the animal whisperer from TV with the khakis and the sideburns, patches in from his office. Shoot to kill, Hanna advises. Tranquilizers take 10 to 20 minutes to kick in. Night's falling. These cats will vanish into the brush, wake up raging, and hit the highway. Lutz hesitates. 18 Bengal tigers, endangered as hell, fewer than 3,000 left in the wild. But public safety trumps. No time for debate.
Complete chaos out there. We've got officers going in heavily armed now. It's all snowballed into hell.
Then we arrived in the area of where the body was, and it was quite apparent that whoever it was deceased. There was a white tiger chewing on him.
Sheriff's office.
Yeah, I think I just seen one. Looks like a jaguar or a wolf or something.
The cull begins at dusk. Deputies fan out. AR-15s barking in the gloom. First kill, a lioness lunging from the shadows, teeth bared, dropped at 20 yards. A tiger bolts across a pasture, silhouette against the harvest moon. Double tap to the chest. Wolves slink through underbrush, picked off like targets at a range. One deputy recounts later, "It charged me, eyes like headlights. I fired until it stopped twitching." Highway Patrol sets up a perimeter on I-70. Electronic signs flare. Exotic animals. Stay in vehicle. Traffic grinds to a halt. Semis idling. Families trapped in minivans, peering into the dark for glowing eyes. Schools cancel classes. Residents hunker down, doors bolted. Kids whispering about monsters under the bed. By midnight, the farm's a slaughterhouse. Bodies stacked like cordwood. Tawny hides matted with mud and blood, glassy stares fixed on the stars. A tractor hauls carcasses to a mass grave, bulldozers churning earth under floodlights, the rumble drowning out the coyote howls. One monkey, a macaque possibly carrying herpes B, a fatal to humans virus, escapes initial sweeps. Rumors swirl. Did a lion eat it? Was it hit by a car? By dawn, it's presumed dead. But the uncertainty lingers like a ghost. 6 animals survive, left caged by Terry. 3 leopards, a grizzly, 2 monkeys. They're darted and shipped to Columbus Zoo, where vets note the horror. Malnourished, mange-ridden, teeth filed down from stress. One tiger's autopsy reveals tumors. Another bones brittle from poor diet. These weren't pampered pets. They were prisoners in Terry's delusion. The morning after October 19th, Zanesville wakes to headlines screaming from every screen. Zoo gone wild, 50 beasts slain in Ohio shootout. The New York Times calls it a menagerie of mayhem. Esquire dubs it the worst animal massacre in U.S. history. Animal rights groups howl. PETA's Ingrid Newkirk brands Lutz a coward, ignoring that no humans died, a miracle in chaos. Conservationists mourn the tigers, 18 gone in hours, a genetic gut punch to the species. Locals are shell-shocked. Fred Polk, a neighbor whose property abutted the farm, tells reporters, Terry loved those animals, called them his kids, but he was unraveling, talked about the government poisoning his water. Sam Kopchak, the horse guy, stares at the blood-stained fence line. I bought Red to relax. Now I'll never sleep again. Investigators comb the scene. No note from Terry. Just a pistol registered to... Wait, not him. A local sheriff's? Whispers of conspiracy bubble up. Forums light up with theories. Was it murder? Did Lutz stage it for a land grab? Debunked quick, gun residue confirmed suicide. But the real scandal? Ohio's laws, or lack thereof. Ohio's exotic pet scene was a tinderbox. Pre-2011, the state hosted auctions like the Met Hope Exotic Animal Sale. Hundreds of critters flogged yearly. Chimps for $5,000, crocs for $200. Black market thrived. Tiger parts smuggled to Asia. Cubs laundered as rescues. Injuries? Sky high. Mauling deaths in the double digits. Yet enforcement? A rounding error. Lutz's office fielded 200-plus calls about Thompson alone since 2004. Nothing stuck. The massacre lit the fuse. Governor Kasich, facing national shame, pushes the Ohio Dangerous Wild Animals Act, passed in 2012, effective 2014. Permits required, microchipping, caging standards, $1 million liability insurance. Grandfather clause for pre-2012 owners like Thompson survivors. But most bailed. Auctions banned. Ohio's tiger count plummeted from thousands to dozens. Sanctuaries like Turpentine Creek Wildlife Refuge stepped up, rehoming survivors. Nationwide ripple, Texas tightens rules. Nevada mandates inspections. The elephant in the room, a 2010 doc forecasting exactly this, surges in views. Jack Hanna testifies before Congress. Zanesville was a wake-up call. Wild animals aren't widgets. Marion Thompson fought the law and was able to keep a few cats under grandfathering till 2017, when fines forced divestment. She passed away in 2018, haunted by headlines. Sheriff Matt Lutz retired in 2020. He still defends that night, saying, "I'd do it again." No hesitation. John Moore, Thompson's caretaker, penned a book claiming cops shot caged animals, dismissed as sour grapes. And the conspiracies? They fester. Reddit's r/unresolved mysteries threads dissect the sheriff's gun. QAnon types spin it as deep state animal control. Podcasters like Life on the Ark interview deputies. We heard screams, animals turning on each other before we arrived. One claims a tiger ate part of Terry's arm. Graphic? Yeah. But it humanizes the horror, or demeans it. Today, Zanesville has a cautionary plaque that marks the site. But drive down those back roads, and you'll spot signs. Exotic cubs for sale, USDA approved. The wild's not gone. It's just waiting. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, then check out these videos on the screen now. If you have a topic suggestion, please send it to the email in the description. And as always, remember to like, comment, share the video, and subscribe to our channel. And remember, the only thing stranger than this story is missing out on our next video.